Muir, Harrigan looking to lead the Knights tonight. So important that they don't turn over possession in their own danger area. Butterfield has probably been their best player in most of the games we've seen this season. Now Billy Pedens, so 5 rucks from the forwards. Now they look to Leo Dinova to drive it down. Pretty good kick in these conditions as well.
And down to the 30-metre line, accepted on the bounce by Ivan Cleary. Just inside the 40-metre line, as Jack Elsgood finds himself in possession. The whistle sounds, the penalty goes to the Sydney City side. Manson said, "I told you to get back and get out of it." Third tackle called by referee David Manson, close to the line. Lamb, Fittler. I thought it was a decoy run from Fittler, but it ends about a metre away from the line. Newcastle straining to keep them out. And every point tonight is going to be so important. You can multiply it by several. As Lamb puts a grubber in on the last, and Robbie O'Davis has put away. So it'll be a line drop out to restart a game. A game effort by Robbie O'Davis as he was hit by the Sydney City defenders.
And now it looks like a mistake from Newcastle. They've tried a short drop kick and it's gone fair dinkum, 1 metre. Must be a strong wind.
So this is a gift, 2 points.
Well, he's done a crusher.
For Sydney City. 1 from 2 last week for Cleary. And straight between the uprights. First points of the night go to Sydney City Roosters. Centre of the ground, good chance for the home side. Trailing 2-0, Johns comes in and O'Davis knocks on. Which way is Manson going to rule? He's ruled that it went backwards. Well, that could come back to be a very important ruling. The pass floating backwards in the breeze. Intercepted. Rigon, is it? No, it's Pearson. Pearson with a long run ending on the halfway. But didn't Darren Albert pick him up nice and quickly? Walker's pass, badly directed. Picked up Fittler though. Walker's back with it. Down to the 20-metre line, and again Albert makes another tackle. 20-metre line. Cleary leaves it behind him. Fittler with a short ball. And again, I think it's Pearson. 7 metres out from the line. From one end of the park when they look like scoring, and Lamb might do it. No! O'Davis forces the ball, and it's in bin.
Yeah, we've got 10 minutes here for Harrigan.
I'm just wondering if the referee thought about giving a penalty try here, because Lamb put the kick in, then was held back. That's why Harrigan's got 10. Brad Fittler is saying, what about a penalty try to Manson?
No matter how much Paul Harrigan argues, he's not going to change his decision.
Cleary going for 500 with this kick, and straight between the uprights he does that. So there's 500 for Cleary, 4 points for the Sydney City Roosters over Newcastle at the 32nd minute. Steve Roach, you've got a comment.
Well, we saw Brad Fittler come in and was blowing up about the penalty try, but what Manson had told him was that Robbie O'Davis had the ball covered all along. That's why it wasn't awarded.
Yeah, well, there seems to be a bit of disagreement here in the box. We're just talking during the break. Paul seems to think that he would have given a try had he have been blowing the whistle.
Well, yeah, which would never happen. But I just think Lamb had some momentum and he got checked. It was only a slight check, but he lost all that momentum, and that's why. Oh, what about that for a forward pass? And it's been picked up. It's out of Barry, Terry Hermanson. But I reckon he would have got there with a free crack at him.
Yeah, well, I just want to very quickly go through that. The referee must be in no doubt that a try would have been scored to give a penalty try. And in conditions like these...
No, look, it's fair enough. Look, he was the man on the spot. He's the perfect judge right there.
Cleary on the end of a good tackle.
Well, what a big set of defence coming up here from Newcastle as we come into the final minute. They can hang on to this 4-point deficit. They'll be fairly pleased, as we pointed out. Try or a converted try would undo a lot of the good work in the first 39 minutes.
Lamb had to run a long way before he took that ball. The pass floating forward in the breeze, and Lowry has now put them where they would like to be, and that's where they aimed it for. Fittler then floating for Elsgood. Elsgood's over the line. Well, it's worked beautifully. Fittler got exactly the right pass away, and then Jack Elsgood, aided and abetted by the quagmire has been able to beat his opposite number again.
And that's the extremity that Paul Vaughton was talking about, that they haven't exploited. You'll see here the winger, I think it's 16, Daniel Smales. He slips over, but I think that Jack Elsgood had him beaten all ends up before he actually lost his footing. Yeah, he stops, he waits to see what Elsgood is going to do, and with a player of this speed and footwork, he was always going to get beaten. Davis coming across to Noah Vale. Great pass from Brad Fittler to open them up.
Yeah, the pass gets the try for the Roosters. In the end, it was one-on-one, but, you know, in these conditions, it's not hard to miss tackles, and some decoys back on the inside had taken some Newcastle defence out of the way, so there was no cover. And the Roosters, and I've got to say, they really needed that try. They've had the better of the field position.
There's the breeze and the rain typified by that shot, and one of our cameramen there doing it tough. Here's the kick. He's got the length on it. It's just offline. I thought it was long odds from out there tonight, but not so. A good kick, failing, however. 8 points to 0 is the score.
Bennett catching the ball in the in-goal area. He may have left the field of play, caught the football and then landed in the in-goal, and that means that it would have been a scrum. No line dropout, sorry.
Adam Muir to the halfway line. We'll go down to Steve Roach in a moment, see what he was able to find out at half-time from the sheds. As Jackson tries to fend away from Fittler, then did well, took the tackle, got a ball away. O'Davis was there, and then Fletcher. The ball goes to Cochrane. That's no knock on. O'Davis is on his way. He's home. He's home singing ragtime. And just that, he's home singing in the rain. O'Davis gets it for Newcastle.
And nobody out there deserves it more than Robbie O'Davis. He's had to do a lot of clean-up work at the other end of the field.
Very important. They gave 4 points away, really. And Dinova's kick is gently coming around to the happiness of the Newcastle crowd. 8-6 the score at the 47th. And the Roosters losing it. Good chance for Newcastle. Can they convert? It's with Craigie standing, looking for runners, but nobody anywhere near him. Cochrane ducks into acting half before using Muir. And Adam is tackled on the 20-metre line, and a penalty goes to Newcastle for stealing the ball against the Roosters. Will they take the kick and level the score?
Well, they'll definitely take the kick. If Dinova kicks it like he did the first one, it will be all level.
Right in front. Oh, he's got it! I was about to put the mock on it. Lee Jackson has come off. He's toiled hard all night, Jackson. And nobody would have had the ball in their hands as much as him. O'Davis probably might be the exception to that, but I doubt it. Now Butterfield offloading. And is this Cochrane? Yes, it is. To the 40-metre line on the Roosters' end of the ground. They sweep it away to the right of the ground for Glanville. Holding it out, getting the pass away. And Conley it is, who goes down under the tackle of Sydney City. 32 metres away from their line. Dinova goes back and gets it to Matthew Johns. And this is Adam Muir, pulled down by Brad Fittler. Struggling to play the ball as quickly as he can. Johns in position, running it straight at Barnhill. 5 tackles gone, 29 metres out. They go for a long-range shot. Dinova put the dummy together, dropped off the kick, got it away for Craigie. Craigie gets it back on the inside for Dinova. Dinova, he's over the line. Did he get it down? We will wait. We will wait. And the referee gives the try. Leo Dinova. 12-8. And 25 out. 12-8 the score. Breeze across the flight. That will come round. Oh, come round. Beautifully done. 14-8. Billy Peden, 42 metres away from his own line. Newcastle, they trail by 8 points. Big Blocker said that might be enough. And he was right with the emphasis on might be. They've come home with a wet sail, 14-8, with a gale A gale behind them.
Well, a big plus for the Knights, Ray, was the fact they were able to whittle away those 8 points fairly early in the second half. So it wasn't as though they got too desperate or had to get desperate late in the game. That's now turned towards Sydney City.
Fittler. Now turned inside by Hayden for Pearson. It's just desperate stuff now from the Roosters, and well, it might be. Played by Riggin. They've got to do something, got to pull something out of the hat. 1.5 minutes to go. The kick by Fittler. Oh, Walker's pulled it in. Then he's on his way. He's got a chase on his hand. A foot race. He gets there. It's going to be given. This is going to be some kick for goal. Who scored the try? Luke Ricketson. Ricketson's over the line.
And what a try. You call it, Ravs. How good are you calling it? They wanted something special, and they got it. Look at this. Magic stuff from Walker, and then kicks it on, and then it came down to a foot race. Ricketson was on the charge. Newcastle had to turn, and he gets there. And that's a good decision from that touch judge, in-goal judge. Well, beautiful try.
That sums up Andrew Walker, doesn't it? He's missed a tackle at the other end, and he's come up with something outrageous. Over the top of Dinova, shaped a kick. You'd have thought that Cochrane might have had enough speed in this race. He did leave fairly early to dive at the football. And have we decided that it is Ricketson, the try scorer?
Yeah, well, we've got his name up in the
there he
semaphore.
is. Yeah, it's him, all right. He is a former centre, of course. He used his body position perfectly.
Well, now, full time has come and gone, and we have got that man, Luke Ricketson's try to be converted. The players stand back and wait. 14 in from touch, 19 out for Ivan Cleary. Hits it, he's gonna get it, he's gonna do it, yes! There it is, the equalizer. What an incredible night at Marathon. They have slogged their guts out for 80 minutes, and they've gone away with half pay. 14 all. 2 tries apiece, 3 from 4 for both kickers.
For our second game on this episode of the 90s Simply the Best, we go back to the year 1995.
And underway in these slippery, sloppy conditions, and Darren Junique takes it on the boot to stop it. Of course, the balls are wet weather footballs, which improves the handling compared to a few years ago, but nevertheless, the kicking game will be important. The handling has to be careful. Jason Lowry to play it. Garlick in a dummy half, gets it away to Smith. 10 short of halfway, and there should be a tremendous battle between these two teams who have got to a point in the competition, almost looked like an elbow flying through the air from Stevens. I think it looked a lot worse than it really was. Charge down on Juni, up in the air, St George's ball, and they've got it through Orford. Or in fact, it's Goldthorpe who's come up with it. And the first penalty of the match goes to the Dragons.
Interesting tactics. Here come the Saints on the charge.
Bradley standing one off the scrum, buried by the Roosters. Took 4 men to put him down as they swamped in all over the top of him. Goldthorpe to Stevens, and he's got 4 over the top of him as well. Quickly, Gaffey runs back to his position, right in centre field. And the Dragons looking for early points here. Solid defence, though, from the Roosters. Over the top was Clark. Barnhill now. Steps off the right, can't get through. Now Quinn up in the line. He gets away from Smith, or he tried to, but the Fenn didn't push him off. They've wasted a couple, St George. Last tackle now. Goldthorpe flings a lovely pass, and it's juggled, but he's got it. And over goes Gordon Tallis. Lovely pass from Noel Goldthorpe, an absolute perler. And Tallis into space, just had to hang on to the ball. a few hearts in the mouths of St George supporters, but the first points are on the board to Gordon Tallis. St George 4, Sydney City 0.
Yeah, here we go, Nola Goldthorpe. 5th tackle, the eastern suburbs of the Roosters players anticipating a kick. Shane Werrett stuck with his winger and a huge hole for Gordon Tallis. He juggled it on a couple of occasions. Here's the ball here. Great ball from Noel Goldthorpe. He's been in golden touch in recent weeks, and there's no stopping Gordon Tallis that close to the line.
Yeah, just a magnificent pass. I mean, East had plenty of defenders there. They moved up, but one of them went in and just left that hole out wide.
That's fair to say that the bloke 21 plays for 10 years. Gordon Tallis' ability probably worth $3 million at the end. There's the kick, and it's waved away.
And almost on target from Bartram, but not quite straight or long enough. St George 4, the Roosters 0. And they're going to have to keep the Roosters out here. Juni gets it back to Lowry. And the Roosters are breaking a few tackles. Garlick, Hermanson runs at Barnhill. Another penalty. So we've had 3 in a row against St George after they got the first 3 penalties of the match. Right in front, this one, only 13 metres out. You can throw it over.
Yeah, they must go for the 2. Andrew Walker walking up.
50% this season, and right in front, his average will improve rapidly. 4 points to 2 in favour of St George. St George started the game strongly, but they're going backwards at a rate of knots right here. Giving away penalties, making mistakes. They're 10 out from their own post. The Roosters yet to score a try. 4 points to 2 in favour of the Dragons. Up the middle comes Juni. He's gone straight through. Great tackle by Quinn, though. Quinn saves a try. Not far out, though, the Roosters. Quick hands wide. It's play on here for Werrett. Orford's on top of him and makes the tackle. I suppose Shane Werrett is one reason that Jeff Orford left the Roosters. Now Lowry. He can't make too much headway. 5th tackle. Walker calls for it. He's kicked into the back of Brown. That's a St George. No, it's a penalty. Penalty against the Dragons for offside play. Will they take the quick tap? Iro was after it. And Walker's going to shoot for goal. And the flags are up. So it's 4 points all between Sydney City and St George. Another look at that penalty.
Well, there it is, Peardy. He comes in on the blind side. It's pretty hard to tell from that replay whether he was offside, but for mine, he must have been. And he's a clever little player.
The 3rd dropout from St George. And Garlick brings it back. Into dummy half goes Gaffey. James Smith, 10 short of halfway. You wonder how long St George can keep the Roosters out from scoring a try. Iro up the middle, goes Clark, reaches for the line. Eddie Ward's there, checks, and he awards the try. Peter Clark running straight onto that pass. Still had plenty of work to do as he busted the line.
Iro drifts across field. There's the change of direction. Tony Priddle couldn't set himself, fell off the tackle. Nathan Brown does his best, as does Quinn. But Clark running into the hole beautifully. Watch this now. David Barnhill was there. He couldn't get across and make the tackle. Tony Priddle a little bit off balance, and he slipped out of that tackle, and Clark goes in for a great try to the Roosters. And they needed to get some points on the board with the concerted pressure and possession they had.
Walker, they're getting progressively more difficult. This one slides out. Just misses. And the Roosters 8 lead St George 4.
Enjoyable afternoon at the footy, Warren.
Well, they both come to play the game, and they're playing it well. And Quinn almost finds the hole, or does, stumbles through it. 10 out. Brown dummy half. Bradley, Mundine, long pass for Coyne. Coyne takes off, steps off that right foot. Got away from Hudson, back now to Mundine. Oh, brilliant stepping, Anthony Mundine. Great footwork, and the try to St George. Well, the tide has turned, but very suddenly. It's been all the Roosters for a good 15 or 20 minutes.
He's got everything, Anthony Mundine, and he would always do well in the wet weather. Stepping for little guys in the wet is a lot easier than for the big guys. And Hudson gets completely filled, and Juni beaten by the step. And Mark Coyne puts Anthony Mundine in for a great try to the little fellow. Mark Coyne, if any bloke deserves an Australian jersey, Mark Coyne is one, in my opinion.
Bartram ready to take the shot, 10 metres in from touch. Has missed with 2 so far. And that makes 3 misses. 2 tries to St George, tallying their 8 points, 1 to the Roosters in their 8. Barnhill standing, showing his strength. It's Iro and Gaffey, the tacklers. Just before half-time, the last thing they want to do is concede a try here. Goldthorpe. Oh, big hit. I think it was Smith again. It was Smith. He's hit Tallis, and Tallis has just coughed the ball up.
Well,
he had it, and then it was gone.
Oh, it was a great hit. Let's have a look at this one again. There's the ball from Noel Goldthorpe. Tallis in the hole, and just a smacking hit. That's what you get in the wet weather.
He's a good lad, this James Smith.
He's a Queenslander, isn't he, Johnny?
No, he's from Cootamundra, and his dad, Frank. Hello, Frank. He'd be watching from home up at Cootamundra.
Salvatore is carrying a pound or 2. Iro. Still going, Iro. Pulled out of Tallis' tackle eventually. Got it to the 10. Great run by Tony Iro. Eddie Ward waving St George back. They're creeping. They're up. He could penalise them. Walker's for the field goal again, and this one is through. Goldthorpe seems to be claiming that it had been touched, but it looked okay from here, and Walker gets the field goal at the second attempt with 45 seconds left on the clock. The Roosters lead 9-8.
Well, there he is, Andrew Walker. Set up for that one. Wayne Bartram goes in.
That's one area where St George have been stronger. Their short kicking game has been very effective close to the opposition try line, whereas the Roosters, their stab kicks into the end goal just seem to give away the ball most of the time.
I don't know about that, Warren.
Well,
I think we've seen.
Well, what
St.
about
George
Iro twice, Gaffey once have just kicked it and given the ball back.
Now that was good judgment by Bell. That's one of the few times where the St George fullback always been hit hard there.
And away go the Roosters through Clark. St George player hurt badly in the tackle, just lost the ball. Now Tallis is being called out and cautioned. 10 in the bin. That's a body blow to St George. Tallis off for an indiscretion in the tackle.
Now Gordon Tallis comes in for the flop again here, and with the knee too. That's pretty ordinary.
And every point is vital in this game, and here's 2 more on offer. Walker puts it straight between the sticks. It's 11-8 in favour of Sydney City. O'Donnell. 11-8. The Roosters leading. 15 minutes to go. Hermanson to play it. Again, they shoot down the blind side. Salvatore goes inside this time to Clark. 5th tackle. Walker's in there calling for it. Field goal attempt. It's a beauty. No question over that one. Interesting decision, but a fine kick takes them to a lead of 4 points. 9 minutes 40 seconds to go. 12-8 in favour of the Roosters. Tallis out there for St George once again, and he's ready to take it on the blind, but Brown goes himself. Smith closes the gap. 20 metres out now. The Roosters, desperation now for Sakuru for St George. And he's chopped down. Over the top came Juni. Underneath it was Lowry. Goldthorpe, Goldthorpe, Goldthorpe! He's there! Goldthorpe over. The scores are level. Great football by the little halfback. He threw half a dozen dummies. He kept them guessing. The little hole was there, and he slid through it. Now, Wayne Bartram hasn't kicked the goal from 3 attempts, and this is not an easy one. 8 metres in from touch, 20 out. Bringing it around well, though. Pressure kick from Wayne Bartram is a beauty. What a kick to produce. 7 minutes to go now. St George hit the front, 14-12.
Here's the little fella from Queensland.
Lamb thrown into the game with only 10 minutes to go. Clark to Prothero. They're 35 out. The 2 field goals at the moment have come to nothing. Iro charges. Tony Iro, 15 out.
He's been good today, Iro. Strong.
Once again, St George have to tackle. Ricketson. He's only 6 metres out. Last tackle coming up. 2 minutes to go. Lamb running it on the last, throws it out the back. 6 more tackles, says Eddie Ward. I didn't think there was a St George hand.
Yeah, Nathan Brown just threw his hand out.
Bit of luck for the Roosters. Away goes Phil Clark. Eddie Ward waving St George back. Iro. Can they hold out? Iro's over. Tony Iro scores what's got to be the match winner. And the Roosters come charging in to congratulate Tony Iro. To put the icing on the cake. Pops it through. Sydney City Roosters lead by 18 points to 14 and we'll be lucky to get a kickoff. And the siren will go. They've got a kickoff in. That's about all, though. Prothero takes it safely. And he will be tackled to end the game. A mighty game of football. St George will be shattered. The Roosters, well, it looked as if they'd been locked up in jail, but they've got out. Sydney City 18, St George 14. Both teams can hold their heads high, though.